DJ Mike C on the track.
Cause that be natural.
Lady D.
Ain't looking tacky. I keep my game tactful.
Yo,
yeah, I'm so nappy. Cause that be natural.
The infamous.
Ain't looking tacky. Cause I keep my game tactful.
I'm so pretty, I'm so fabu, I'm so natural, it's like it's a taboo. I'm so filthy, got the tattoo, fucking these bitches like I own ragu. On my business with my platoon, getting these minutes like I'm a typhoon. Y'all is cheering on that cartoon.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Airfros and Babyhairs, and thanks for joining me on this chat. Today we have a few topics of discussion to get into, so grab your snacks, get you something to drink on while we get into the things of the things. Also, make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so, hit the like to help us grow, and be sure to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments. So yeah guys, how have y'all been doing? How has your week been going? How is your weather in your area? Here it's been good. It's been sunny and windy. It's almost like a tropical vibe around here, so it's pretty pleasant. I'm enjoying all of this sunshine. Gives me so much joy and happiness. But yeah, sometimes get a little too dry, but we ain't gonna complain. So anyway, we have a few topics of discussion today, and it's going to start off a bit heavy, so brace yourselves. But I just want to inform people as to what is going around. I want to inform our community as to what's going on all around us. So yeah, and I'm going to be using a bit of code words because, you know, this algorithm and YouTube's restrictions and all of that. But y'all already know how it goes and flows, so, you know, read between the lines, you know what I'm saying, and if you know, you know. So let's get into it. The first topic is about missing Alicia Watts in North Carolina. This will be from the dailymail.co.uk. And it starts off, boyfriend of missing woman Alicia Watts, who vanished a month ago in North Carolina, is arrested for murder. Alicia Dean Watts, 39, had last been seen driving her car in Charlotte, North Carolina on July 16th, and her remains were recovered Thursday, 70 miles away. Shortly after locating the body, cops arrested Watts' boyfriend, 51-year-old James Dunmore, at his residence on Pamela Lorraine Drive in Charlotte. Footage shows him being led in cuffs to a local lockup weeks after being found unconscious in the same SUV Watts was last seen in. He's charged with murder. The boyfriend of a missing woman who vanished a month ago in North Carolina has been arrested for her murder after her body was found. Alicia Dean Watts, 39, had last been seen driving her car in Charlotte, North Carolina on July 16th, and her remains were recovered Thursday in a rural cemetery some 70 miles where she disappeared, police said. Area footage from the site around 12:30 p.m., which sits on the grounds of a cemetery near Candor, shows several officers from the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office at the scene, as well as a trailer that likely held the woman's body. Shortly after locating her remains, cops arrested Watts' boyfriend, 51-year-old James Dunmore, at his residence on Pamela Lorraine Drive in Charlotte, police said. Footage shows him being led in cuffs to a local lockup weeks after being found unresponsive in the same SUV in which Watts was last seen. She'd been leaving Dunmore's home at the time, believed to be headed home to Moore County. Dunmore, meanwhile, has a history of domestic violence and served time in prison for kidnapping, cops said Thursday. This was not the outcome that we had been hoping for, Montgomery County Sheriff Pete Herron told reporters on the grounds of the Norman Community Cemetery after making the grim find. But by finding Alicia today, it can bring some closure, the officer continued, as several members of Watts' family were seen at the scene. I hope and pray it brings some closure to family and friends moving forward. Herron refused to take questions about how Watts passed away and did not specify how the discovery of her remains prompted authorities to suspect Dunmore. An arrest warrant filed in Montgomery County alleges the suspect unlawfully, willfully, and feloniously did a malice, aforethought, irk, and murder Watts on or around the day she went missing. The warrant does not elaborate on any other circumstances surrounding her disappearance or death, which relatives at the cemetery said, while devastating, has at least brought the closure. Just 2 weeks ago, the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department said Watt's boyfriend, the sole resident of the Pamela Lorraine Drive home where she was last seen, was important to the investigation, but would not go as far as to say why. At the time, the Charlotte resident was considered a person of interest in the case, which started with a statewide search for Watts on July 19th, launched the day after her car was found at an Anson County DMV, a short drive outside of Charlotte. Inside, local deputies discovered Dunmore, the victim of an apparent suicide attempt, according to a subsequent search warrant later obtained for his residence. First responders did not discern the car's connection to Watts and rushed Dunmore to a nearby hospital. The Anson County Sheriff's Office did not provide any details on his condition. A day later, Word family members reported Watts missing. After another 24 hours, cops discovered the vehicle, a black 2023 Mercedes-Benz GLC 300, belonged to Watts. Also discerned by deputies was the fact Watts had been driving the vehicle when she was last seen, with plans to attend a comedy show at a Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte following her visit with Dunmore on July 16th. However, when she never showed, relatives who also live in Watts, Moore County, instantly became concerned, citing Watts' punctuality and visual transparency. Watts' cousin, Gwendolyn Utley, told WSOC TV, it just wasn't normal. That's not like her. When she drove by Dunmore shortly thereafter, she said she saw her cousin's car still parked in the driveway and did not immediately come to suspect the Charlotte citizen. However, after circling back a few hours later, she said she saw the car was gone. WCNC reported, and Dunmore was found in the SUV 2 days later. It was only then that Watts, an advocate for mental health issues and the elderly, was officially declared missing, sparking a statewide search carried out by multiple cooperating counties. During the search of Dunmore's home on July 20th, investigators found a shell casing from a 9mm handgun, and in another on July 26th, seized an array of clothing, cell phones, a camera, a laptop, photos, and a memory card in relation to Watts' disappearance. Cops wrote in that warned that Dunmore attempted suicide before being found unresponsive in his girlfriend's vehicle. That day, Dunmore was declared a person of interest in the case, though cops stopped short of calling him a suspect. He was being held Friday at the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office after his arrest the day before. Records show, and he is scheduled to make his first court appearance Monday, a Montgomery County clerk said. At the Norman Community Cemetery Thursday, another of Watts' cousins, T. Hines, told WBTV that she was happy Dunmore was being brought to justice. She also questioned how Dunmore could have carried out the murder. I'm just glad we got our guy. You know what I'm saying? Haynes tearfully told the station as officers from the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office continue to survey the scene. I just can't wait to go to court. You know, I just can't wait to see what he has to say about this. We shouldn't even be out here. If he would have just told us 38 days in now, that's a long time, she continued. This is weird. It's very weird, but hopefully this is the closure that we've been looking for. I don't know how he managed to do that by himself. In my head, he had to pretty much have help, because there's no way that you're going to take your girlfriend on a date to a cemetery. So I don't know how he even chose that spot that he chose. Cops in Montgomery County, meanwhile, said Friday that their investigation is ongoing and that there is still much work to be done. This is an ongoing and active case and investigation, Heron said. So yeah, guys, this sounds very, very weird. So yeah, my first question is my first thing about this whole situation is the cousin, the Hines lady. She sounds suspect. because no one ever said that the dude took her cousin on a date to a cemetery or that he unalived her there. And to say dude had to have help, brought questions in my mind. So, the other thing to me is like she didn't really respond like somebody who just lost a family member would respond, in my opinion. It just sounded weird. Like, I'm glad we got our guy talking about this may help, bring us closure. This is 38 days in now. He should have just told us. How could he do this by himself? I'm sure he had help. All of that just sounds really weird. And the other thing is the other cousin. Like, why were you being so nosy? Saying you rolled by dude's house and saw your cousin car there, then you came back around again and saw the car that was still there, and you wasn't, suspicious of anything. Like, why were y'all two cousins like watching her like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why were y'all being so nosy? It almost seems like y'all were the ones that helped dude carry this out, because 38 days and nobody said nothing, and the fact that he was still riding around town in her vehicle and y'all didn't say nothing. Y'all hadn't seen your cousin, but y'all seen him constantly riding around her car. Like, y'all should have been suspect way before then. So it just sounds weird. But as far as the whole situation, it's like, hearing that she worked with mentally challenged people, or an advocate for the mentally challenged and for the elderly. It's like, did she meet him under those circumstances? Hold on, guys. Did she already know of his background? Like, was she an advocate for people like him? Like, how did they actually meet? And this is a lesson to women, girls, out here who are hooking up with different people these days. I know that it is hookup culture out here these days, but you really need to investigate, do deep dives, find out who you're dealing with, because you can know somebody for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you still don't really know that person. So get as much background information on these people as possible. And I know, like, people don't really want to go and talk to exes and all of that, but sometimes that is important, because a lot of that will tell you what's going to end up going on in your new situationship in the long run. It's like, sometimes we think, oh, the ex is just jealous and all of this, saying all of this bad stuff about you, but sometimes it's accurate information, and you can just put it in the back of your head. You get what I'm saying? And be like, okay, this may be true. It might be some truth to this based on, what you start seeing later on. You know what I'm saying? But all exes are not hating. All exes is not bitter. And some of these exes know the side that you haven't been aware of yet, or haven't had the opportunity to see. So, yeah. So, also, I was wondering with this whole situation, I noticed that they brought up that Alicia was going to a comedy show. Do y'all think that this boyfriend didn't really want her to go? It almost feels like a little bit of jealousy too with this whole situation, like how men can sometimes be jealous of women's success. And it's like, how are you gonna murk her and then still be riding around in her 2023 Mercedes? You get what I'm saying? And then trying to stage a suicide attempt. Like, what is going on here? It's like, it almost gives he didn't want her to go. The cousins didn't say anything about him going to this comedy event, and she probably was like, I'm not paying for this dude to get in at this comedy event. He need to be paying for me. He need to be paying for us. So maybe because he couldn't pay for the both of them to attend, he didn't want her to go at all. So, you know, I don't know. I'm just speculating at this point, but you know, in domestic violence situations, things can be stirred up from so many different angles, from so many different perspectives, from so many little things. So you just never know what exactly it is that pushed him to do what he did to her. And like I said, a lot of these people in this whole scenario sound like they're suspect to me. Unless, you know, the cousins weren't really that close to her, they could have been jealous of her too. Like, I'm from the South. I know how people get down. People can easily be jealous of you if they not living the way that you living or making the kind of money that you making. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm like, why would your cousin be riding around trying to see if you still at your dude's house? And it's almost like, in a sense, the cousin must have been waiting on you to leave so she can come over there. Like, it's just a lot. And I'm glad that the cops said that this is an ongoing investigation. Even though we have arrested this dude, it may be others involved because these cousins ain't, they not seeming like they hands too clean in this matter. So that's just my opinion, but I don't know. I could be reaching, but I don't put nothing past nobody. But yeah. So yeah, I think that's all that I have on this particular thing. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section. We can keep the conversation going down in the comments. But as of right now, that's the only thing that I can see. So yeah. And the other thing, like, why would a cousin even think that a man would try to take a woman to the cemetery for a date? Like, girl, you couldn't think of anything else to say? You know this man did not take this girl on no date to no cemetery. He got a whole house. She got a whole car and was on her way to a comedy club. They could have easily went on a real date somewhere or just stayed at his house. Nobody goes on no dates to cemeteries. Let's be real. It's like she didn't have anything else to say. Like, let me try to play this off and say the first thing that come to mind because I really didn't like this cousin. No way. You feel what I'm saying? And 38 days in, and y'all seeing this man riding around in the car and ain't said nothing. So anyway, moving on to the next topic. Let me get a swiggle. So this is a topic that I saw, like, going through different articles and stuff like that, and I was like, I didn't, at the time that I was going through, I was just seeing the title, so I didn't really just take a deep dive into what was going on until I got ready to do this particular chat. So we're gonna get into it now, and it says 6 signs your sex life is being impacted by trauma, and this is from JoanneBagshaw.com. And it says trauma often sticks with us. It lives inside us in our relationships, keeping us mired in the tension, drama, and aftershock of it all. Sometimes we know how we're affected. Sometimes we can sense it. And sometimes we haven't got a clue. That's okay. When it comes to our sex lives, there really is no reason to think we wouldn't be affected by trauma. Yet it often takes support and a qualified therapist to help us look deeper. Consider that what you may see or even dismiss as a sexual preference, fantasy, or irritant may be more, particularly if they continue to get in your way. Some of the things we do or won't do sexually may be linked to a painful past experience that shows up in unexpected ways. Consider the following indicators that unresolved trauma could be upsetting a healthy sexual connection. Number 1, you see yourself as damaged, diminished, or targeted. Consider your answers to the following questions. Trauma may be driving your sexual connections or the lack thereof. Do you think that there is inherently something wrong with you? Are you at all interested in sex? Do you wish sex didn't even exist? Does losing control sexually feel like powerlessness in your relationship? Do you feel like you have the right to say no to anyone that wants you? Do you feel like you deserve whatever you get when it comes to sex? Number 2, anxiety and excitement are all mixed up in your brain when trauma is stuck within you. Your body never really resolves the fight, flight, freeze mode that accompanies a disturbing experience. Your guard is up, anxiety and arousal get confused easily. Your trauma might be impacting your sex life negatively. If sex feels demanding, aggressive, or triggers anger and controlling behavior, that's the fight. The fight mode. You may find that withdrawal, avoidance, or passive interaction, that's the flight mode, typifies your sexual interaction, or perhaps you just get through it emotionally and mentally in response to intimacy, and that's the flight mode as well. Number 3, disturbing sensations and dysfunctions get in the way. Again, trauma stays with you, lives in your memories and body. Thus, you can be disturbed and affected by the bodily responses long before you are consciously aware of trauma connections. Past injury or partial memories may give rise to certain tensions, numbness, or functional issues. You may want to avoid these feelings, or you may feel that sex can only happen if those sensations are at play, even if they are harmful to you or your connections with others. Number 4, sex is a risky preoccupation. Is sex a complete preoccupation? A history or sexual abuse or assault can contribute to a focus on various aspects of sex that interfere with your goals, career, and relationships. You may have trouble not thinking about sex or constantly contemplate when your next sexual encounter will take place. In some circles, you may hear how some trauma survivors act out. Perhaps you can relate. Perhaps you don't even know why you use sexual activity in risky and unhealthy ways. You may have had a thought you were simply free and uninhibited. However, as you deal with certain consequences, you may wonder if your painful past is directing your current sexual exploits. If you're feeling empty, your relationships are being harmed, and your sex life is taking a toll on your body. Think about getting to the root of things. Number 5, your trust issues tend to taint intimacy. Post-trauma can make it hard to trust. A lack of trust with a sexual partner is problematic in a variety of ways. First, simply being vulnerable is unlikely to occur without a measure of faith that the other person will not harm you physically, mentally, or emotionally. Second, sharing your needs and wants is difficult enough without the perception that people are inherently unsafe or that sex leads to betrayal or personal harm in some way. If trauma has taught you these things, sex can be disappointing, triggering, or an unsatisfyingly one-sided affair. Number 6, disconnect or disassociation routinely robs you of pleasure. Do you feel as though you just can't feel anything during sex? Perhaps certain parts of your body feel numb. Maybe you are completely checked out and feel as if you are somewhere else altogether. Disassociation is a common response to traumatic experiences. Your nervous system protects you by signaling that you are in an inescapable danger. You may enter in a foggy, cold, or distant sort of lethargy. The intensity of sexual contact can trigger the same response. Finally, take the next step. Trauma doesn't disappear. When we survive something terrible, we carry it with us. Often we punish ourselves with shame, isolation, or pain. If we don't know how to let it go, it remains an unprocessed obstacle to a deep and intimate knowledge of ourselves. You deserve better. Seek to know and own your sexual self without anxiety or apology. With the work complete, you can share yourself when you are ready and fulfill your desires freely. So they're basically saying you can try going to sex therapy, therapy for women, and couples counseling. So yeah, I think this was something wonderful to bring up because I think sometimes people don't know the levels of trauma that they experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with, being like maybe M-worded as a child, or R-worded, or, even in relationships. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you've been intimate with a long-term partner and they, cheat on you or whatever like that, all of that is forms of trauma. And then you wonder, like, why am I not feeling the way that I did before when it comes down to these different things? Or why do I feel the way that I feel when it comes down to these things that's supposed to be normal for couples to do? You know what I'm saying? For example, if something happened to me when I was a child and I've been M-worded or even R-worded as a teenager, a young woman, and I finally meet someone who I want to be intimate with, you know what I'm saying? Someone I've been dating, someone I've been seeing, and now it's time to take it to the next step. And at this point, I'm getting anxiety. You get what I'm saying? I'm feeling a certain type of way, like I really don't even want to do this. Why does this have to be a part of this relationship, this situationship? Like, we don't understand where those feelings come from. And some of us will, you know what I'm saying, sit there and go through the motions, but it's like, this was nothing. I don't feel nothing. It's nothing there. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I can explain it to make y'all understand if you don't get it. And the same thing, like, if you went through traumatic experiences with an ex or someone that you're currently dealing with. You know what I'm saying? I think in some relationships, and I'm talking as a female, and if you're dealing with a male, like, some males consider themselves alpha males and stuff like that. And even though you're with this person, y'all been together, dating, coupled up, booed up, relationship up, and they're like alpha males. So because you're their girl, they feel like anytime, anywhere, they can just take it from you. You may not be in the mood, you may not even want it, you may be going through, your time of the month. It could be anything. And they just take it and they feel like, you my girl, I should be able to get this when I want to, when at the end of the day, it's still the R word. And that creates some form of trauma as well. You get what I'm saying? And then another example, you could be in a long-term relationship, married, whatever, and your spouse cheats. You see what I'm saying? And once again, this is a painful experience for someone who's been faithful to have to go through. So it's traumatic as well. It's on an emotional level. So those feelings can erupt when it's time to be intimate too. It's like, now, okay, I don't feel anything. It's nothing here. It's like, it's not the same. So I do believe that trauma can affect your sex life. No matter what stage in life that trauma happens to you, you get what I'm saying? It can affect you in the intimate portion of your relationships. So, you know what I'm saying? If y'all understand where I'm coming from, let me know in the comments. But like I said, you can heal from those traumatic experiences. Like they said, you can go to sex counseling, you can go to couples counseling, and you can also go to women's counseling so that you can help get through those traumatic experiences and get out of your head and, you know what I'm saying, heal mentally, physically, emotionally, so that you can be free to be intimate. So let me know what y'all think about that. And I think conversations or these type of topics need to be discussed more. And although some people have the effect that I was just mentioning, where you don't really want to be intimate, or you really can't be intimate, there is a whole nother end of that spectrum where some trauma, some people who've endured trauma go in the whole opposite direction. They're giving it to everybody. You get what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. There's like over here, over there. It's like they gotta have that type of situation to happen. Just like I just said, you can be in a relationship with someone who thinks that they're, an alpha male, and they're saying, I gotta get this from you whenever I want, whenever I want, however I want, no matter how you feel. And this person would enjoy that. This type of person would enjoy that. Like, yes, I love when you take advantage of me, when you just rough me up and do this and do that, because they're on the opposite end of the spectrum, but it's all coming from trauma as well. You get what I'm saying? Or they could be with somebody who's not an alpha male, and they will be wanting them to do those things to them too. And that person may not even be like, I'm not like that. I don't want to throw you around. I don't want to take it from you like that. I don't think it should be one-sided like that. I think we both should want this. But there could be someone who would be like, you know what I'm saying? I want you to do me like this. Tie me up. Blindfold me. Beat me with whips and chains. You get what I'm saying? So, but at the end of the day, it's still, the cause is still the same. Trauma. You get what I'm saying? And not even just speaking about being like aggressive and torture and all of that. They could be someone who would, want to be like a prostitute. You get what I'm saying? Someone who would be a escort. You get what I'm saying? It's not like they don't want to do it. They want to do it because it reminds them of that traumatic experience, and they get some type of sensation from that. You get what I'm saying? Always thinking about it, always ready to go, always on go when it comes down to that. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's so many different layers, but it all comes from trauma. It should be, to me, it feels like it should be healthy, well-rounded all the way around. And people need to understand that some of the things that they do can cause traumatic experiences for the person that they're with, or the person, or just whoever they're being traumatizing to. Some people know that they're being traumatizing. You get what I'm saying? They know exactly what they're doing, but I don't think some people know the effects that it will have on a person. And I'm not saying that this is only a female thing either, because I feel like males can be traumatized. Males can go through different things, especially in childhood when they're vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes not even in childhood. Sometimes you can be caught off guard, especially like in jail, the prison. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So anyway, enough about that. But like I said, y'all, some of these topics today are a little bit heavy, but I feel like some of these things need to be discussed because, yeah, nobody's really talking about this type of stuff. But we're finna move on to another topic. Let me know what y'all think about that topic I just discussed. You know what I'm saying? Let me know in the comments what you think. We can keep the dialogue going in the comment section. But if you're someone who's traumatized and you're feeling any type of those 6 ways, you know what I'm saying, that I just mentioned, then like I said, there is sex therapy, there is couples therapy, there is women's therapy. So you may have to look for those particular resources in your area to get the help that you need, and actually go and receive the therapy so that you can be helped and whole and all of that. So yeah, guys, the next topic will be on Halle Berry And it says she will pay $8,000 a month in child support to Oliver Martinez after finalizing divorce. And this information is coming from people.com. Halle Berry divorce settlement from Oliver Martinez has been finalized after almost 8 years. The pair, who are co-parents to son Maceo 9, settled their divorce and custody agreement, according to documents obtained by People. Part of the ruling indicated that the two would share joint legal custody, with Berry agreeing to pay Martinez $8,000 a month in child support. She will also pay him 43% of any income she receives above $2 million in additional support. Berry will also shoulder the cost of her son's private school tuition, uniforms, and school supplies, as well as any extracurricular activities. She's agreed to pay Martinez back for any of these costs from the 2023-2024 school year. The Oscar winner and the actor initially filed for divorce in October 2015 after 2 years of marriage. At the time, the pair released a statement to People regarding their decision. "It is with a heavy heart that we have come to the decision to divorce," they said in a joint statement to People. "We move forward with love and respect for one another and the shared focus of what is best for our son. We wish each other nothing but happiness in life, and we hope that you respect our, and most importantly, our children's privacy as we go through this difficult period." In December 2016, a judge ruled Berry and Martinez legally single, but the exes continued to negotiate over child custody and support. Along with son Maceo, Berry is mom to daughter Nyla, Ariella, 15, with ex-boyfriend Gabriel Aubrey, whom she split from in 2010. In 2021, the actress spoke with Women's Health for their December cover story, saying that her relationship with boyfriend Van Hunt had been influencing her role as a mother. "I just feel fulfilled. I feel happy in my life romantically. As a mother, as an artist," she said of her life with Hunt. "I'm a much better mother in this circumstance that I would have been had I stayed in a romantic relationship that didn't serve me and didn't make me feel the way I need to feel as a woman. I'm reminded that we always have to take care of ourselves first because I can't be a good mother for my children if I'm not fundamentally happy and feeling good about myself," she added. As a mom, Berry said she tried to teach her kids to stand up for themselves and be their own person. "Use your voice. You have a right to be heard. You are loved and accepted just as you are. Only you define who you are," Berry says. She tells her daughter, "I'm trying to teach them to march to the beat of their own drum, be true to themselves, and not be followers, but be leaders and innovators." Wow. So after hearing that, it's like, did the ex-husband actually get full custody of the child? And let me find out that she divested and still ended up a baby mama who gotta run a bag in child support and still in turn end up with a whole ninja. After all of that, you paying both of your baby daddies bills, lifestyle, I mean everything. Cause it's like, dude, the daddies have to come out of pocket for anything, and she got to fund for the tuition, uniforms, supplies, extracurricular activity. And they said she's an Oscar winner, and the baby daddy is an actor himself. Like, y'all acting like he don't got no money, so he don't have to foot the bill. So did he get full custody of the child, and she got to fork out all this money, or? Y'all leaving out some key details as to how this work, cause I'm confused. Cause he taking all Haley coin, him and the other one. Cause even to this day, I haven't seen the other baby daddy. He used to be a model. I haven't seen him on nothing. And this baby daddy, I don't recall seeing him on any movie. So it's like, what is going on here? But it's looking like divesting and talking down on the ninjas. Because that's what she did after Dave Justice. No, after the singer that she was with. What was his name? She was like, she is not finna be with no more ninjas. And then she went and had these divestment children. And now you gotta blow a bag. They taking all your money. And it sound like they didn't took the kids too. Like what? Where they do that at? Let me know y'all thoughts on that. I don't even know how to feel about this situation. Normally I would think, you know what, the mothers shouldn't have to pay nothing. They carry these babies in their womb. They nurse these babies. You know what I'm saying? And the man should always be the provider. Because that's what men were put here for, to provide and protect. So, but when you talk down on your own and you end up calling yourself divesting to the colonizer, then I don't even know what to tell you. It's like you eating them words, sweetie. So anyway, let me know y'all thoughts. And I'm not coming for her or anything like that. But you need to be careful what you say. And be careful how you treat your own. Because it looked like you had to come running right back to your own after you divested out and blew all your money. And, you know, tainted the womb. So, that's just my thoughts on it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what people do, how they do, none of that. I'm not racist, not prejudiced, or none of that. But I'm going to stand for mine. And I'm not choosing no one else over mine. Like, that's what's wrong with our community now as it is. We have to learn how to stick together as a nation of people. Yes, you can like people outside of your race, but the people outside of your race don't come before yours, because you ain't gonna never come before theirs. That's what we need to learn about other nations of people. They don't do the stupid stuff that we do. And at some point, we gotta stop this, putting everybody else before us. We are all we got when it's said and done. So be careful how you do you. Anyway, let me know y'all thoughts on that. Like I said, I don't even know how to feel. In a way, I want to be upset for her. You know, like, girl, I hate you gotta go through all this. But in the same breath, it's like you brought it on yourself. So, what the ninjas be telling us? Pick better. You should have picked better. Anyway, moving along, we about to get into Lizzo's current situation. So it says here, Lizzo's current dancers expressed their support for the singer amid lawsuit. And this is from thevulture.com. It says 3 of Lizzo's former dancers have filed a lawsuit against her and her production company by Big Girl Big Touring Inc. is BGBT, and dance captain Charlene Quigley. The dancers Ariana Davis, Krista Williams, and Noel Rodriguez alleged sexual, religious, and racial harassment, disability discrimination, assault, and false imprisonment, according to a press release following the announcement of the lawsuit on August 1st. Some of Lizzo's former collaborators have shared support for the accusers as well as their own experiences. At least 6 more collaborators have since shared allegations with lawyers. Below what we know so far, including Lizzo's response. What is Lizzo accused of in the lawsuit? The dancers claim while on tour, Lizzo invited them to a new performance club in Amsterdam and went out of and went out of fear of losing their jobs. While there, the lawsuit claims that Lizzo began leading a chant to get Davis to touch one of the performer's breasts. Miss Davis said 3 times loud enough for all to hear, "I'm good," expressing her desire not to touch the performer. The lawsuit states Davis eventually acquiesced, fearing it may harm her future on the team. Later that night, they alleged Lizzo badgered a member of her security team to get on stage, where she pulled down his pants and hit him with whips. The next week, the plaintiffs say Lizzo took her dance team out without telling them they were going to a nude cabaret bar in Paris. The lawsuit also alleges mistreatment from BGBT toward the dancers. BGBT's management team consisted entirely of white Europeans who often accused the black members of the dance team of being lazy, unprofessional, and having bad attitudes. The lawsuit states, additionally, Davis describes being fat shamed by Lizzo and choreographer Tanisha Scott. Lizzo and Miss Scott pressed Miss Davis for an explanation why she seemed less bubbly and vivacious than she did prior to the tour starting. The lawsuit says, in professional dance, a dancer's weight gain is often seen that the dancer's getting lazy or worse off as a performer. Lizzo and Miss Scott's questions about Miss Davis' weight gain, which Lizzo had previously called attention to after noticing it at the South by Southwest Music Festival. Davis was later fired for taping a meeting. What are the additional allegations? Lawyers representing 3 of Lizzo's former dancers said they are looking into new allegations against the pop star made by at least half a dozen people who said they toured with Lizzo or worked on her reality show. Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls. We have received at least 6 inquiries from other people with similar stories since we filed the complaint, the plaintiff's attorney Ron Zambrano said in a statement on August 8. Noelle Crystal and Ariana have bravely spoken out and shared their experiences, opening the door for others to feel empowered to do the same. Some of the claims we are receiving involve allegations of a sexually charged environment and failure to pay employees and may be actionable, but it is too soon to say. What is dance captain Charlene Quigley accused of? Davis and Williams first met as participants on Watch Out for the Big Girls, Lizzo's reality competition show, which found dancers for her team. While on the show, Quigley was a dance captain and a judge, and the lawsuits alleges often proselytizing her Christian beliefs. Miss Quigley discovered that Miss Davis was a virgin, and Miss Davis' virginity became a topic of extreme importance to Miss Quigley in the months to follow. Miss Quigley will routinely bring up Miss Davis' virginity in interviews she participated in, and later posted to social media broadcasting an intensely personal detail about Miss Davis to the world. After Davis and Williams made the team, which Rodriguez was also on, Quigley allegedly continued proselytizing and singled out Rodriguez as a non-believer. Williams was also fired, purportedly due to budget cuts, leading Rodriguez to resign. Lizzo aggressively approached Miss Rodriguez, cracking her knuckles, balling her fists, and exclaiming, "You're lucky. You're so fucking lucky," the lawsuit alleges. Neither security nor management did anything to de-escalate the situation. As Lizzo left the room, she raised both her middle fingers and yelled, "Bye, bitch." Did Lizzo respond? In a classic Notes app statement on August 3rd, Lizzo denied the allegations. "These last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing," she wrote on her Instagram. "Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed. The sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional." She then focused on her relationship to standards, saying, "With passion comes hard work and high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like they aren't valued as an important part of the team," she added. "I know what it feels like to be badly shamed on a daily basis and would absolutely never criticize or terminate an employee because of their weight." Other former employees support the lawsuit. Sophia Nali Allison, a documentarian who was hired to do a doc on Lizzo, shared her own experience on social media August 2nd. "In 2019, I traveled a bit with Lizzo to be the director of her documentary," she wrote on social media. "I walked away after about 2 weeks. I was treated with such disrespect by her. I witnessed how arrogant, self-centered, and unkind she is. For clarification, I'm not a part of the lawsuit, but this was very much my experience in my time there." Courtney Hollenquist, one of Lizzo's former dancers, wrote in an Instagram story, "Big shout out to the dancers who had the courage to bring this to light." Quinn Wilson, Lizzo's former creative director, backed up Hollenquist, reposting her story and added, "I haven't been a part of that world for around 3 years for a reason. I very much applaud the dancers' courage to bring this to light, and I grieve parts of my own experience. I'd appreciate space to understand my feelings." Pop singer Ken Princess, Wilson's girlfriend, also backed up Wilson on Instagram. "My girlfriend is not only my family, she is a dedicated creative who tirelessly works to support the artists she believes in," she wrote. "I have watched her be underpaid, undervalued, and deeply mistreated firsthand by people who have more fiscal and social power than her." However, current employees have expressed their support for Lizzo amid the misconduct allegations. The big girls and big boys thanked the singer for their positive experience on the road. "We had the time of our lives on the special tour," Lizzo's dance team wrote in a show of respect posted on Instagram. "We have been so honored to share the stage with such an amazing talent," and added that the commitment to character and culture taking precedence over every movement and moment has been one of the greatest lessons and blessings that we could possibly ask for. The dancers went on to express appreciation for Lizzo breaking glass ceilings for members of the team, which includes people of diverse backgrounds and body types. "Thank you to Lizzo for shattering limitations and kicking in the doorway for the big girl and big boy dancers to do what we love. You have created a platform where we have been able to parallel our passion with a purpose, not only for us, but for women and all people breaking barriers." The plaintiff's attorney responded to the Instagram post on August 18th, saying that the comments don't change anything about the allegations. "It's understandable that Lizzo's current employees would gush about her," attorney Ron Zambrano said in a statement. "They want to keep their jobs and maintain access to her global celebrity, but the comments change nothing about the allegations in the lawsuit. More potential plaintiffs sharing similar stories of abuse and harassment are coming forward on a regular basis. We've heard from at least 10 former Lizzo employees since we filed the lawsuit and are reviewing their claims. Some of them will most certainly be actionable. Lizzo's job now is to try to do anything she can to limit the damage to her brand and save her career. Our goal is to vigorously litigate the case on behalf of the plaintiff based on the facts, and we're confident the truth will prevail over the spin." Wow. Well, I don't know what's going on with these Tauruses, but everybody seems to be gunning for them from all which ways. However, I feel like Lizzo needs to do some non-disclosure agreements, you know what I'm saying, when it come down to these disgruntled ex-employees, because at the end of the day, it's like nobody should be telling you how to run your ship. You know what I'm saying? And we know that doing these shows, being on tour, you know, rehearsal and all of this stuff, you have to be ready and willing to work people that's in that field and they want to be successful. They got millions and millions of dollars on the line, million dollar budgets on the line. It's like, we not here to play. And a lot of these people want to come in and be lazy, be goofing off, want to party all night when they all in these different countries and different cities. You know what I'm saying? You have to be disciplined. And sometimes you have to be hard on these employees. And just because they don't like it don't mean that they can turn around and sue. It's like, you signed up for this. Does this look easy when you watching me on TV? Does it look like it's easy? Do you think I'm finna let you be up here looking sloppy, lazy? You get what I'm saying? Like, in a sense, I understand where Lizzo is coming from, but she's kind of like denying, that she ever fat shamed anybody. It's like, I don't believe that, because fat people can shame fat people. It's like, you can be big and you should, like, let's just say, for instance, Lizzo can be 500 pounds, but she's up there energetic, moving around, getting the dance steps and all of that. And your homegirl behind you is 200 pounds and she barely can move. She's out of breath, huffing and puffing, sweating and panting. So yes, like, girl, you 200 pounds, but you barely can move. We gonna need you to get it together. You need to get on this treadmill. You need to cut back on eating all this heavy food. You get what I'm saying? Like, girl, you must be too big or something. You can't manage your weight. So, I don't know if she didn't necessarily bring up their weight or not. But just because she's fat doesn't mean that she's not allowed to. Because they have to buy, costumes, uniforms, whatever they wearing, and then all of a sudden you done gained 5 or 6 pounds. Now you can't even fit it, and I done paid all this money, had my seamstress make it. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that go into that, and even we can say it's somebody else, like Rihanna, her dancers. The same thing applies. Like, okay, now girl, we done got your uniform made, and you done got too fat. One of her background dancers. So now we gotta redo it. You're gonna have to go on a diet, get on this treadmill, stop eating these heavy meals at night. You get what I'm saying? And we could very well be talking about somebody who went from 120 pounds to 140 pounds. One of her background dancers. So it's the same thing. Just because it's Lizzo doesn't mean that she can't, bring out her dislikes about the employees. It's almost like if you worked in the corporate world and you're supposed to be meeting this quota and you're not able to do it. Now we need you to work on that. I'm finna come to you and talk to you so you can better yourself and level up in this field, or I'm gonna have to get rid of you. So it's the same thing in my opinion. However, she had these girls doing all this other stuff, like going to the nude bars and all of that. Like, yeah, girl, no. Do not mix business with pleasure. If you want to be out doing all this stuff, do not take your employees. You need to take your homegirls that you brought with you on tour, your family members that you brought with you on tour, your man that you brought with you on tour. But these employees is off limits. So yeah, that's what I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? And these people could be lying. They could be telling the truth. It's not against the law to be a bitch as a boss. It's not against the law to be a mean boss. It's not against the law to be, you know what I'm saying? But it is against the law to be having your employees out in these nude bars. It is against the law to be, sexually harassing them. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you did those things, Lizzo, I can't rock with you. And those are just my thoughts. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. We're going to take a brief break, and I'll be right back. Now we're going to move into the next topic. And it says, boyfriend arrested after Instagram influencer beauty couch found dead near torched car. And this is from independent.co.uk. After Instagram influencer Beauty Couch was found dead late last week, her boyfriend has been arrested as police investigate her death as a homicide. Her boyfriend, 21-year-old Eugene Louis Jaquez from Naples, Florida, was arrested in Louisiana on Friday, according to the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office on charges of murder, aggravated assault, and arson. Austin Fire Department on Wednesday responded to a vehicle fully engulfed in flames. After the fire had been extinguished, police discovered this car was registered to the parents of 22-year-old Beauty Couch, who most commonly drove the vehicle and who hadn't been seen since Tuesday morning. Police then searched the area surrounding where the burning car was found, only to come across the Instagram influencer's body nearby in the wood line. Cobb County Police wrote on Thursday that foul play is suspected. Let the message be that we do not take kindly to people who think they can commit a crime elsewhere and try to hide in St. Tammany Parish, Sheriff Randy Smith said in a statement, adding, "We were happy to help our counterparts in Georgia by locating this suspect and taking him into custody so he may face justice, and Ms. Couch's family can begin to receive closure during this difficult time." Mr. Louis Jaquez was held at St. Tammany Parish Correctional Center as a fugitive and was waiting extradition to Georgia, the sheriff office wrote. "I can't imagine her being in this situation at all because she was so lovable, so caring, so fun, and so amazing," Couch's sister Leela Brown told WWL-TV. "She impacted a lot of people and she did nothing to anybody for anyone to want to do her like this." Couch, who went by Beauty Katera on Instagram, has 156,000 followers. She was a sweet girl. She never bothered nobody. Her mother, Kimberly Couch, told WSB-TV, "She never bothered nobody. She was a friend to everybody. She loved going skating. She loved going to work. She loved her clothes. She loved wearing her hair so pretty." Wow. So, yeah, this whole situation too is leaving out a lot of detail as well. This is a sad situation once again with all of these melanated men, young men, taking the lives of melanated young women. I don't really understand why he would do such a thing. And it almost feels like this could have been a situation where they met online, being that they live in two different places. He was from Naples, Florida, and she was in some part of Georgia. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe this was somebody she met on Instagram, possibly. I don't know, but it just feels like to me this was some type of internet app hookup, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, and he went all the way to Louisiana after the fact. But like I said, it's not really giving much detail as to why he actually did this to her. It doesn't give you detail about them being in a relationship. Not even her sister, mother, or even saying like, yeah, we knew her man. He was this or he was that. It's almost like, you know, she met this man actually online, so they didn't know anything. Seems like that about him, like they didn't know that she was even with this dude or seeing this person. It just smells like something weird. And once again, this could have stemmed from jealousy. You know, people these days get jealous when people actually start to get a community or a following on social media. And you would think as a female, majority of your haters will be female. Some of them are males as well. Some of these men actually do not really like women. Some of them do not even like melanated women. So it's just, I just don't understand. And some people are just evil. So like I said earlier, like some of these people that you're getting involved with, meeting up with, all of that, you actually need to investigate and find out about these people. You can't just look at this person's profile and be like, oh, they cute, they got money, they got this, they got that, but you're not really learning anything about how they are. Like, you don't know anything about their character. You don't know anything about who they are. Like, seeing nice things doesn't mean anything, because all of these nice things could be from robberies, you know, breaking and entering. All of these nice things can be from, you know, selling narcotics. You just never know. And they could be on here saying, oh, yeah, I work every day at such and such, such and such. That's where I make my money. And be straight telling a lie. So some people are murkers for hire. So yeah, they can get money from that too. So you just really need to take the time out to find out who you're dealing with. I really don't suggest young women on situations like that where you meeting someone online and they want to go out for a date or meet you somewhere. I feel like you should never go to these excuse me go on these first dates alone. Like, get your home girl to come with you. Ask the dude who's trying to meet up with you, tell him to bring a friend as well, so it can be more like a double date thing. You feel what I'm saying? Like, my trust level is almost obsolete at this point. But even when I was younger, a lot of times my homegirls, especially on first, second, third date, y'all coming with me? We all going to the movies. We all going out to eat. We all going as a group. So yeah, it's and now times are much worse. Although I still don't see how people think they actually can get away with anything these days. Because there's cameras everywhere. The cameras are everywhere, and everyone has a camera. It's Ring cameras on people's doors. It's cameras in people's cars. It's cameras on their tags in the back. It's cameras in their hand. It's cameras in the kids' hands. It's like security cameras around people's houses and buildings and all of that. Like, really? But anywho. So yeah, it just smells like her family didn't know much about this dude. And like I said, they not really speaking on the dude. And then it's like nobody's mentioning, like, yeah, she told us she was going to be meeting up with a boy or whatever, and we haven't seen her since. Like, she didn't even tell y'all nothing about this person. It's like, when you're dating people or you want to meet people or whatever like that, you need to tell somebody where you're going and who you're going to meet. Even if it's your best friend, a cousin, sister, mama, something. And then when you get there, like, this is what he wearing, this is what he was driving, this is what he was in when he pulled up, this is how he looks. Take a selfie with you and him, like, hey, we finally meet, can I get a selfie? Y'all take the picture together. Send all this information to family members, friends, somebody. Because once again, this was somebody that was missing that nobody really noticed till days later. So once again, like I said, you gotta check on your people. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like be all in people business like that, but certain people that I want to keep up with, I'm always checking their social medias and stuff like that, just to see when was the last time they posted. I might not call you, I may not reach out to you or whatever like that, but I'm checking your profiles to see when was the last time you posted. That lets me know that you're okay. Sometimes it'll say they posted yesterday, they posted 30 minutes ago, they posted an hour ago. Okay, well, you must be okay. You're able to post still. So, but sometimes that's not enough. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't get a response from family members, friends, or whatever, when you send them this information about this new person, you can still send it. You see what I'm saying? Don't sit around, oh, they don't talk to me or whatever like that. Still send the information. I'm going here. I'm going to be meeting this person or that person. Yeah, we're going to be at this location or whatever. Like, these are grown people. Nobody can tell you what you can and cannot do. However, for situations like this, young ladies, young men need to be getting in the habit of letting someone know your whereabouts, your plans. And young men and young ladies need to be getting in the habit of investigating these people that you're trying to hook up with. Because this is dangerous. This is a dangerous, as you can see, it is very dangerous. These people coming from all out of town, and then they come in town, take you on out and try to leave town. Like, he didn't even go back to his home state in Florida. He went to a whole nother state. That is crazy. Anyway, I hope y'all get what I'm saying. But yeah, let me know y'all thoughts on this. But like I said, it is leaving out a big chunk of information on both of the cases involving the women being taken out by lovers or people they were hooking up with. It's kind of disturbing. And in both instances, you don't hear anything about a father figure or a big brother or uncle coming forward to say anything. Both instances is actually mothers, sisters, cousins, and they're all females. So once again, our men in our community are supposed to be protectors. Where y'all at? It used to be a big brother is like, my little sister's not going to meet up with no dude she met offline or whatever like that. I'm riding with her. I want to meet this fella. You get what I'm saying? So y'all think about that. Anyway, moving on to a lighter topic. I recently heard the song by Cardi B and Offset called Jealous. I wanted to read the lyrics because we can't play the song here, but we can read these lyrics and see what the song hit for. So I have pulled up the lyrics and I'm going to read them aloud. I wish I could do it where the like Google could read them out for us. I don't really know how to do that yet, but I'm gonna figure it out one of these days. But anyway, so starting with the lyrics, it says, there's a lot of drama between you and your beautiful wife, Cardi B. Let's talk about some music. Mafia, 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 mafia. Jello, jealous, jello. Jealous ass bitch. Jealous ass bitch. Mafia, 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 mafia. Jello, jello. Jealous ass bitch. Jealous ass bitch. Hating ass nigga cause I got it out the mud. Hating in the family, nigga, be your own blood. Screaming fuck 12 to the DA and judge. Never been a dub, never been a scrub. 45 Glock, now oh, you want the judge. Better than who? Must be high on them drugs. Cooling in the mansion with the bubbles in the tub. Heard you undercover, you a bitch, you was a stud. Set, yes nigga, don't try me. In a lamb, I be damned if a nigga try me. Getting ham with the fam, man, a nigga gotta eat. Shawty, none. I'm a bust, I'm a trick for a treat. Before I bought the lamb, I was riding in the Jeep. 500 horses with the stick on a seat. Fuck that nigga. He'll fold when there's heat. Go against the code for the dough. Boy, you weak. Go against the grain, man. You know a nigga lame. Cartier frames. I can see a nigga brain. Cartier bracelet, it matching with the chain. Dirt up on my name, man, you niggas should be shamed. Knock off her boots when I'm throwing up game. Diamonds Fruit Loops on this watch and it's plain. My dog got the juice and I'm smoking propane. I'm gunning, I run to the money. You sane. Who talking? Who telling? Who saying? I'm selling prescription cocaine. She fuck with my pimpin', my cane. I'm Michael, I'm not no Jermaine. Jealousy, that shit gon' eat your heart out. This a AR sawed off will slay your squad out. This the beast you brought out. This a feast, we ball out. I'll eat your heart out. I'll pull your card out. It's simple, put holes in his face like it's dimples. New Kimber, new bop, 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 bop. Make it limp him. He play with me, blowing me, rise in my temper. I got millions of racks in my mansion, my temple. I'm gangster, but with your bitch, I get gentle. Wankster, take out your teeth like it's dentures. I'm blanking, you eat this Glock, I'm Miss Winters. What the fuck these bitches talking about, man? Jealous ass bitch. Mafia, 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 mafia. I mean Jello, Jello. Who's telling us what? Jealous ass bitch. Jealous ass bitch. Barty. Look, ain't no bitch finna front on me. No. Bad body bitch with the jumbo teeth. Yellow Lamborghini like a bumblebee. Girl, nobody listen to you less you talking about me. Woo. It's always a bird trying to tweet shit. Yeah. You offended when I be on defense. Fuck you. They're too worried about me and my nigga. Huh. You should worry about the nigga you're asleep with. Faces given and never not gave. Been to Atlanta, but bitches ain't brave. How bitches mad, I'm the number one pick. It's funny, your nigga, the one that's a trade. Bitches is mad, stupid, stupid. They get to the bag and lose it. I'm still in the bed, I live on her head. Water and gas included. Brr, grr. Bitches don't wanna go Birkin for Birkin. Bitches ain't got enough hits for a versus. Bitches be acting so different in person. Cartier frames. I can see why she nervous. Woo! This shit a circus. I dipped in detergent. I'm sick. Get the nurses. My whip got the curtains. I'm dripped out on her mess. A bitch say my name, then she number one trending. I did you a service, bitch. Jealous ass bitch. Jealous ass bitch. Like, huh? Jealous ass bitch. Man, what the fuck these hoes talking about? Jealous ass bitch. Hold on. Look, let's keep it a beam. Let's keep it a buck. If I had a dick, it need to be sucked. All of my ops is running they jibs. Stomach too big, it need to be tucked. All of that crime be keeping me up. When Barty's around, they see me and duck. When I make a post, I'm leaving it up. They came from the hood, but they leave in the trunk. Bitch. Okay. Really, I think I actually like Cardi verse better. Offset did his thing, but I think his girl ate. And that's not how the song actually goes. It's just how I was reading it because I don't have the beat. But let me know what y'all think. I actually like the lyrics. I like the song. I like the video. I like Cardi. I'm a Cardi fan. So it is what it is. Everybody say she can't really rap like that. She ain't this. She ain't that. But to me, Cardi is a game spitter. Even though I know she got writers or whatever, I still feel like her flow is giving game spitter. She spit from, the street. She speak from experience. So majority of the time. So that's what I get from Cardi. It's different types of rap, different types of flows. So she just gives that. She never said she was like no lyricist or nothing like that. So for what she's doing, game spitting, I think she's doing a good job. So that's all I have to say about that. Like I said, let me know y'all thoughts. Now we finna get into the next topic, and once again, this is another heavy topic. So let's get into it. Okay, it says doctors weigh in on decapitation of Georgia couple's baby, and I got this from NBCnews.com. The couple's attorney said nurses and healthcare providers in the hospital should have had protocols to deal with the problem. A Georgia couple filed a lawsuit last week alleging their child was decapitated during delivery by a doctor who used too much force. Jessica Ross and Travion Isaiah Taylor Sr. are suing both the Southern Regional Medical Center in Riverdale and their obstetrician, Dr. Tracy St. Julian, who is not employed by the hospital, after she allegedly applied ridiculously excessive force trying to deliver the baby with shoulder dystocia. According to their attorney, Roderick Edmond, the infant did not survive. According to the lawsuit, Ross' water broke around 10 a.m. on July night, and she arrived at the hospital 10 minutes later. By 8:40 p.m., Ross was fully dilated and was instructed to push. However, the baby did not properly descend, the lawsuit says, most likely because of shoulder dystocia, which occurs when a baby's shoulders get stuck behind the mother's pubic bone. Premier Women's OBGYN St. Julian's practice did not immediately reply to requests for comment. Southern Regional Medical Center said in a statement that it denies the allegations of wrongdoing and that this unfortunate infant death occurred in utero prior to the delivery and decapitation. The hospital also said it voluntarily reported the death to Clayton County Medical Examiner's Office and is cooperating with all investigations, the lawsuit says. The couple were discouraged from getting an autopsy. Shoulder dystocia occurs in roughly 3% of vaginal deliveries, and it typically happens to women who have reached full term, said Dr. Kiara King, an OBGYN in Illinois who is not involved in the case. Risk factors for babies experiencing shoulder dystocia include the mothers having diabetes or being short in stature. Ross, 20, had been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in July 2022, and her pregnancy was considered high risk, the suit says. Another risk factor for shoulder dystocia would be whether the baby weighs more than 4,000 grams or 8 pounds and 13 ounces. According to the lawsuit, Ross' baby weighed 7 pounds 6 ounces upon delivery. While doctors are able to point out possible risk factors, shoulder dystocia is not something that we can fully predict, King said. Edmond, the couple's attorney, said nurses and other healthcare providers in the hospital should have had protocols to deal with the problem. According to the lawsuit, both St. Julian and the nurses did not meet the standards of care, King said. She uses guidelines set by the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists to determine whether patients with risk factors such as diabetes and a larger baby will meet criteria to undergo a cesarean or C-section for the prevention of shoulder dystocia. Dr. Joya Greer-Perry, an OBGYN and founder of the National Birth Equity Collaborative, said that even in the moment, the doctor, the nurses, and other staff members should have agreed that the patient was delivering or was deserving of a C-section. Perry and King were not involved in Ross's medical care. Ross and Taylor, 21, asked for a cesarean section while the baby was viable, Edmond said at a news conference last week, reiterating the allegations in the couple's suit. Instead, Ross pushed for 3 hours without delivering it vaginally using different methods, one of which included applying traction to the baby's head, according to the lawsuit. The fetal monitor showed an abnormal fetal heartbeat starting at 9:26 p.m. and the heart rate continued to decrease until 10:36 p.m. There was no sign of a fetal heartbeat on the monitoring strips by the time St. Julian performed an emergency C-section at 11:49 p.m., the lawsuit says. The baby's body was delivered at 12:11 a.m. St. Julian's alleged tremendously excessive tension traction on the head and neck of Ross's baby named Trevion Isaiah Jr. resulted in multiple skull and facial bone fractures and hemorrhaging on his neck and brain and around his spinal cord, according to the suit. Crib Perry said that she has used instruments like forceps and vacuums to help patients with the pushing, but that if they prove unsuccessful, C-sections are ordered. In 2020, the infant mortality rate during delivery in the U.S. was 5.4 deaths for every 1,000 live births. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, additional data shows that the rate was highest among black babies at 10.6 deaths per 1,000 live births. While the way Ross baby died is incredibly rare, they can happen, but they don't typically. King said the family is seeking an undisclosed amount in damages for the baby's life, along with Ross's physical, mental, and emotional pain and suffering, according to the suit. Since the incident, Edmund said the couple have been in bad shape and are attending counseling because they have been psychologically traumatized. Millicent Rose, a trauma specialist and professional. Oh my gosh. Millicent Rose, a trauma specialist and professor of clinical psychology at Pepperdine University, said with medical trauma, we're really mindful that one of the things that can compound onto symptoms is when we know that it could have been preventable. It occurs due to negligence or at the hands of another person. The hospital said in a statement that it is unable to discuss the care and treatment of specific patients because of patient privacy laws. Holding the child after birth is the rite of passage for any mother, Rose said. Robbing mothers of that opportunity after loss can cause prolonged grief. The central nervous system interaction between mother and child is also necessary for the mother's healing, regardless of whether the child survived birth, she added. The couple said in the lawsuit that they were unable to hold their baby. The hospital did not address why in its statement. Rose said that despite the intense grief bereaved parents may feel, she has witnessed families continue their journey to family planning while learning to balance their love for children who are no longer with them. Grief is all the love that you have to give somebody that you now have nowhere to put it, Rose said. So for a lot of mothers, when they experience pregnancy, infant or childless, their overwhelming feeling of love to give another child becomes centered as well. I always encourage mothers to hold on to hope, even after something catastrophic. Yeah. This whole situation does sound like the doctor is guilty. So it's like, so you knew what she's saying is like whatever happened to the baby happened before the baby was even pulled out of the womb. Yes, the woman had dystocia because the baby's shoulders could not make it past the pelvic bone. However, that does not prove to us why the baby's spine is crushed, the face is crushed, the head is crushed, and the baby has hemorrhaging and all this other stuff going on. Like, your reply doesn't tell us that, because the baby's shoulders couldn't get through, the reason why his whole head and neck is crushed. And based on what the other doctors were saying, that seems like the cesarean should have been ordered sooner. And also, they also said that majority of the women who end up having baby that have this what is it called, dystocia, They're short in stature or they have diabetes. Both of these things are true for that girl. If you look at her picture, you see she is a very short woman. And then she said back in 2020, she was diagnosed with diabetes. So you already had an idea that this could possibly happen with this girl. If you are indeed a practicing obstetrician, you know, I don't know what the case may be, but it's sad because this is a melanated doctor and these were melanated patients. You see what I'm saying? But that doctor story is not adding up. And they not wanting to answer questions. And then you're saying you didn't want the girl to get a autopsy. Y'all didn't let her hold her baby. It's like you didn't want her to see the damage that you had did to that baby's face, neck, spine. And you didn't want her to find out what actually happened to that baby by saying you don't need to get a autopsy. But they did it anyway and found out the truth. Like, she was in labor since that morning. You could have been did a cesarean on this girl. Simply, I mean, just off the fact that, you know, she had diabetes. And then not only that, they said around 9:26 the baby had an irregular heartbeat. So that in itself too will prompt you, okay, maybe I need to go ahead and prep for a cesarean, because now the baby heartbeat changed. A lot of times from what I've seen, and I've watched a lot of birth stories, they used to come on TV, that baby heartbeat started changing up. It's time to get the mama. Whether that baby heartbeat drops or that baby heartbeat speeds up, it's time to get the mama in the operating room. So I don't understand. Like, I don't know what's going on these days. But what I have noticed when it comes down to the melanated community, even though they even pointed it out in here, when it comes to the melanated community, we're a lot of the times you not walking out, it's either gonna be with the mother or the baby. For some reason nowadays the mama don't hardly make it or the baby don't make it, and that is disturbing. And where is it? Like the woman was saying, like a few years ago, mortality rate was 5.4 and now it's 10.6, and it's the highest in the melanated community. So it's going up as far as the mortality is concerned. So I don't know what's up, but this is disturbing. And I know that family is traumatized. And after getting those results from the autopsy report and seeing the damage that was caused to your baby, like, that baby didn't deserve it. When it just could have been, okay, let's emergency cesarean. And a lot of time when it's emergency, they'll go and do it right then and there. Like, cut, let's get this baby out of here. We ain't even gotta move her to the other room where we do the surgeries at. We gonna do it right here because this is a dangerous situation. Let's get this baby out of here. And why was she using so much force on this baby? This is a baby. You pulling and tugging and pulling and tugging. Even if you thought the baby had already passed away, why would you still be doing it? According to you, it already had happened. Whatever damage was going to be done, like the baby, because of the dystocia, the baby was already unalived. Okay, if that's the case, then why were you pulling and tugging on the baby in the way that you was, to crack his skull, break his spine, break his neck, smush his face, make him hemorrhage? Why were you tugging on that baby like that? It's like nothing about this sounds right. It sounds very, very much so wrong. And I hope they sue to the fullest extent of the law and get all the money. But yeah, it's not funny. But yeah, They need all the money for this situation. So yeah, guys, let me know what y'all think about it. This is terrible. But I'm thinking most people nowadays probably should be leaning more towards midwives and doulas and stuff like that. Having your babies in the comfort of your own home and stuff like that, instead of going into these hospitals where they are showing you in these stats that it is possible that you or your baby are not going to make it out of there. Whereas these home births been very successful here lately. So it's just a thought to throw out there if y'all get what I'm saying. So yeah. So next, guys, since we're on the topic of medicine and all of that, I wanted to try to talk about this new variant. I'm going to call it the egg, just for, you know, algorithm purposes, bot purposes, you know. I'm going to try to use as much code wording as possible, because this is a very sensitive subject on YouTube for whatever reason, but I'm going to try to give y'all the information as best I can. But also you can do your own research and find out what's going on your own. But like I said, it's a new variant, and I'm gonna call it egg for the purpose of the video. And other names I'm going to use to describe other variants. For one, it's going to be the Carisha 19, also the Omarion, the Carisha 2, you know, words like that, so y'all can kind of follow along on what I'm talking about. So let's get into it so I can go and get this out the way. What to know about egg, the latest Carisha 19 strand. This is from YaleMedicine.org. A Yale medicine expert explained whether egg is more transmissible or severe than previous Omarion subvariants. Viruses mutate, so it was only a matter of time before yet another Carisha 2 strand, the virus that causes Carisha 19, emerged and started to spread. This summer, that strand is called egg, or informally egg, nicknamed after the Greek goddess of strife and discord, a descendant of Omarion. Egg is already the dominant Carisha 19 subvariant in the country, infecting more people than any other single strand. So far, egg isn't setting off any alarms as far as, you know, disease severity, although early reports show it may be more transmissible. It has surpassed XBB.1.16, another highly contagious Omarion subvariant that was in the news just a few months ago. I'm not aware of data that suggests egg leads to worse cases of Carisha 19 compared to prior variants, says Scott Roberts, MD, a Yale medicine infectious diseases specialist. But early reports have shown egg has been spreading faster than any other currently circulating strand. Dr. Roberts answered questions about the summer uptick in Carisha 19 cases and shared what we need to know about egg. How prevalent is egg, the latest Carisha 19 subvariant? According to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimate, egg was responsible for 20.6% of cases of Carisha 19 in the United States at the end of the third week of August, which was more than any other single circulating Carisha 2 strand. The same week, a strand called Florida, which is reported to be surging rapidly in U.S. and accounted for 13.3% of cases, was second, followed by a mix of other strands and descendants of Omarion. How is egg different from other recent Carisha 19 strands? It's not much different from other recent strands, explained Dr. Roberts. Egg, first identified in February, is a descendant of the Omarion variant, which first appeared in November 2021 and has had many subvariants. It may be worth noting that except in rare cases, the original version of Omarion is no longer circulating. Neither is the original strand of the Carisha 2 virus and the early, more severe Apple and Delhi variants. However, it does have one new mutation in its spike protein, the part that facilitates virus entrance into the host cell, that can potentially evade some of the immunity acquired after an infection or vaccination. Similar to all variants that have arisen, there is some extra degree of immune evasiveness because of its slight difference in genotype, says Dr. Roberts. The World Health Organization, WHO, has classified egg as a variant of interest, which means countries should monitor it more closely than other strands because of mutations that could make it more contagious or severe. The CDC has not yet updated its variant classification page. Is egg contributing to an uptick in Carisha 19's hospitalizations? Most likely. This year, in the first week of August, the CDC noted a 14.3 upward trend in Carisha 19 related hospitalizations. However, this uptick in cases and hospitalizations is much lower than previous summer. These summer Carisha 19 spikes have occurred for the past 3 years, most likely because more people are traveling, says Dr. Roberts. This recent uptick is also likely due to the new variant, which has a greater ability to bypass people's immune defenses and the waning effectiveness of last fall's booster jabs. Does egg cause symptoms that are different from other Carisha 19 subvariants? Not so far. Like other Omarion strands, egg tends to infect the upper respiratory tract, causing a runny nose, sore throat, and other cold-like symptoms, as opposed to lower respiratory tract symptoms, Dr. Robert explains. But people 65 or older, or who have a weak immune system, are at higher risk of the virus traveling to the lower respiratory tract, causing severe illness. Will the new booster jab expected this fall protect against egg? The new booster won't be an exact match for egg. Pfizer, Moderna, and Novavax are all developing versions aimed at Omarion offshoot, a close relative. In August, Moderna announced that early clinical trials showed that its booster jab will effectively target both the egg and Florida subvariants. The two strands, egg and Florida, are not identical, but they're pretty close, Dr. Roberts says. My strong suspicion is that given the genetic similarities, there will still be a good degree of protection from the jab. We've seen throughout the pandemic that if there is a similar genetic code among Omarion subvariants as opposed to a bigger shift like there was from more severe Delhi to Omarion, there's going to be much better cross protection. That idea will likely be part of the groundwork for seasonal Carisha 19 booster jabs in the future. The new jab this fall won't be the last, Dr. Roberts says. Carisha 19 will probably be similar to the flu, where the strand mutates slightly every year and we develop a vaccine before we know exactly which variant will be circulating several months out. It's always an educated guess based on what's around at the time. Antiviral medications such as Paxlovid should also work against egg, and at-home rapid tests should be able to detect it, Dr. Roberts adds. How can people protect themselves against Carisha 2 and other viruses this winter? Anticipation of 3 viruses, Carisha 2, influenza, and RSV, hitting at once in the fall and winter season has contributed to fears of a tripledemic for the last 3 years. This year, there should be better protection from a new Carisha 19 jab and new preventative tools for RSV, which can be fatal in vulnerable people, including infants and older adults. This summer, the Food and Drug Administration approved and the CDC recommended 2 RSV vaccines for people over 60 and a preventative monoclonal antibody for infants and toddlers. All 3 are expected to be available in the fall. While the news The new Carisha-19 jabs have yet to be approved, Dr. Roberts says. Anyone who gets a newly formulated booster in the fall should expect to have ample protection early in the new year. The jabs take about 3 months to reach peak effectiveness. Following the pattern of previous years, Dr. Roberts expects to see the usual winter uptick in Carisha-19 cases, but is hoping that with egg being a mild strand, the availability of Carisha-19 treatments such as Paxlovid and the new booster jab, there will be far less significant rise in Carisha-19 hospitalizations than in previous winters. However, taking precautions may still be important, especially if you are at high risk for severe disease because you are 50 and older, are immunocompromised, or have underlying medical conditions such as obesity, chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder. Protective efforts such as avoiding people who are sick and wearing masks when among people in confined spaces can help. But Carisha-19 vaccines is the most effective tool for prevention, Dr. Roberts says. First of all, who is Dr. Roberts? Second of all, what I think people need to do during this time, and this is just my opinion because it seems like these variants, sub-variants, and all of that will not stop. They're not going to stop as long as they are constantly in these labs making and genetically creating all of these new strands. I think that people need to first and foremost try to alkalize the body. I think they are playing with or attacking certain types of DNA, certain types of blood types. So I really think people need to think more or less on alkalizing the body, actually fasting more during the winter months. Try to stay away from, as much flesh as possible. That's what I think people need to do. And try to lean more into, organic herbs from around the world as a protectant. Now, if you want to take all of these jabs and, do all of that, then by all means, it's your body, your life, whatever. But, I think that a lot of times the same people who have a suggestion or some type of cure be the same ones who create the actual problem. So you're going to end up in this cycle of the same thing over and over and over again, because who's getting funded? Who's getting all this money? Who's supporting all of this? Because from what they said in the beginning, all of this started over in a whole different country. But that whole different country doesn't have all these sub-variants and variants and variants and sub-variants and sub-variants. You get what I'm saying? So why is it just going on here? In a place where we supposedly have the best medical system in the world. And it's been all kinds of infectious disease that have erupted here that they were able to get rid of with no problem. For instance, like the Ebola, like smallpox, chickenpox, all of that stuff used to be fatal, but they were able to get rid of it. Why aren't they able to get rid of this? because there keeps being a subvariant and a different variant and a subvariant and different variant and another one and another one. And you can tell because it has all of this coding, all of these numbers. That lets you know it's a part of the matrix, in my opinion. So, the jabs have numbers. The actual what can I say it is? The actual disruption has a number. This contagious disruption that goes and comes because they have to create it and whip it up in the lab. Just like everything else. So, yeah. And also the reason why I said too about the fasting is because they're getting smarter and smarter with passing this particular variant to the public. You know, we have a such thing as GMO foods. So with the GMO foods, they're in the lab creating these foods, chemically modifying these foods, cloning these foods. You don't think that they can put the actual disruption into the food? You don't think that they can jab the food? So we need to be leaning more into fasting and alkalizing the body. And it's probably gonna get to the point where they're even, I'm not even gonna say that because I'm not gonna speak that into existence, but I can say that some of this stuff could be being dumped on us from planes or just opening up, you know, the door to the laboratories and just letting it out into the atmosphere. They have suits and stuff to protect them, but we don't have anything. So we're gonna have to let nature protect us. So that's why I keep saying we're gonna have to depend on our own bodies. We are a part of nature. So we might need to alkalize the body through fasting, get our immune systems up to par through fasting, and then try to eat as many organic fruit and vegetables as possible, as well as, like I said, getting herbs, nutrients, and minerals from other places other than here, where they are manipulating the food, the weather, the air, the water. You get what I'm saying? So that's all I have to say about that before I even say it too much. But yeah, it's not gonna stop. We probably got another 2 or 3 years of all of this lab work that they're going to be introducing to our immune systems. Okay, so yeah, read between the lines. Hopefully y'all can understand. Anyway, now we're gonna move on to another topic. Let me know your thoughts below, and let me know if you have any solutions, precautions, anything like that to, you know, spread amongst our community to put us up on game on ways that can help us through all of these triple demics. So yeah. Next topic is Steve Harvey divorcing his wife Marjorie. Comedian fires social media manager amidst divorce rumors. This is from the economictimes.indiatimes.com. Amidst a flurry of events, Steve Harvey finds himself at the center of attention, with both genuine and fabricated stories circulating across social media platforms. The renowned comedian and TV personality is grappling with two distinct incidents that have captured the public's interest and sparked conversations on various fronts. Departure of social media manager stirs controversy. Steve Harvey's name took a prominent place on Twitter as discussions erupted over the apparent firing of his social media manager. The incident was prompted by a tweet that had been posted, soliciting responses about comedians who failed to induce laughter. The unsuspected negative tone left followers perplexed and fueled speculation. In response, Harvey took to video to share his perspective and reveal the management change. Expressing his disbelief over the tweet's content, Harvey clarified, "My whole brand is to be motivational, and I'ma turn around and say something like that. You don't know where these young people are at in their career, man. They could be coming up or anything. I'm all about positivity. I would have never done nothing like that." False divorce rumors spread online as the digital realm continued to buzz with discussions about Harvey's social media shift. False rumors began to circulate about his marriage to Marjorie Bridges. Reports claimed that Bridges was seeking a divorce due to an alleged extramarital affair involving their chef and bodyguard. However, these allegations were debunked by Ned Nwoko, a Nigerian businessman who identifies himself as a friend of Harvey's. In a statement addressing the unfounded claims, Nwoko stated, "Fake news has been taken to new heights all over the world, and this is so unfortunate. We experience this practically every day, and so when we read about our friend Steve Harvey and his lovely wife having issues, we had to contact him, and he confirmed that he and his wife are very much okay, and it's all fake news and should be disregarded. The family is happy together, and we wish them all the best. Steve and Marjorie are journeying together." Steve Harvey's personal journey has been a subject of interest for many. His rise to fame began in the early 1980s as a stand-up comedian, and over the years his popularity has soared. He has not only hosted popular shows, but has also become a household name. Throughout his life, Harvey has embraced different roles, including being a husband and father. Marjorie Bridges has been an important part of Harvey's life as the two exchanged vows in 2007. The bond they share remains strong, and they weathered the storms of life together. The allegations of divorce circulating online have been categorically dismissed by Harvey's friend Nwoko, adding clarity to the situation. Facts. What is Steve Harvey's wife famous for? Born on October 10, 1964, Marjorie Elaine Ridge Woods came into the world as the daughter of Doris Bridges. She has established herself as a designer, stylist, Instagram sensation, and is also renowned as the wife of the prominent presenter Steve Harvey. Her zodiac sign is Libra. Why did Lori change her last name to Harvey? Following Marjorie and Steve's union in marriage, Steve went on to formally adopt Morgan, Jason, and Lori. This gesture led to all three siblings adopting the Harvey surname, although the idea of merging their families gave their children pause initially. Marjorie offered them the perfect words of reassurance and encouragement. I don't even know why this news, I don't even know why Steve Harvey's marriage is circulating across the internet like that based on a social media post that didn't have anything to do with his marriage to begin with. But why their marriage is the topic of discussion right now, I don't understand, because, we as the public don't have anything to do with that, and marriages go through different things. It goes through ups and downs, ins and out, and we are not a part of the union. They don't owe, even if they are going through something, they don't owe us no explanation as to what is going on, to be quite frank. It's not our business. It's not our concern. It's not our family. And that's it, and that's all. But do I believe that something went down with the chef and the bodyguard? If the way that this article was written, it sounded like Steve was the one messing with the chef and the bodyguard, but I'm assuming that it was the wife who these allegations are made on. Now, I don't know. It's possible. I mean, from what I can see, he seems to be really, really in love with her. But for her, I really can't really say. I mean, I don't even think I've heard that woman talk. Just like her daughter, Lori. I think I saw a video for Vogue that she did on her fresh face routine, and that was the only time I've ever heard that girl talk. So I don't know anything about them, and I know that it's been some rumors coming out about Marjorie's past life, but at the end of the day, I feel like everybody has some sort of a past, whether good, bad, or indifferent. But that doesn't mean that's who she is today. People can change, people can grow up, people can heal, people can level up. So I can't really say. I don't know, but anything is possible. So I don't know if it's true, if it's not. All I know, not my monkey, not my circus. Moving right along, y'all can leave what y'all think in the comments below. And also, I've been hearing over the years that, people keep thinking that Steve and his wife are getting a divorce. Like, why are we so invested? It's like, first of all, I don't even like Steve Harvey that much. So I really don't care. I think one of his ex-wives came out and, said a bunch of stuff about him from the past. But like I said, the same thing with Marjorie. Everybody has a past, whether it's good, bad, or whatever. But people can change. That might have been who he was back then. When you broke and your spirit is broke and you low vibrational, then yes, you can do some low vibrational things. And in that space when he was with her, he might have been very low vibrational. But now that he has leveled up, he may not be that same low vibrational person. Back then it was a struggle. Now he's living in the lap of luxury. It's nothing to be struggling or worrying about at this point. So he may not even be the same person he was back then. Not saying that what she's saying is not true. It could have happened. But he also could be a changed person, if you get what I'm saying. If y'all know what I'm saying. So I don't know. And I don't know. But he's not that interesting to me. And I don't think, some things that he says is funny. He alright. But he don't have me rolling all out on the floor, out of breath, laughing. The only person that I can recall doing that, well, it's two comedians. Well, I'm going to say three comedians that I really, really like. And that was Bernie Mac, Magic Mike, and some more. They are funny to me, but people have different levels of funny. You know what I'm saying? Some people like dark comedy, some people like corny comedy. Like, it just depends on what your preference is. But Steve can be funny sometimes, but he's not that funny to me all the time. I wouldn't pay to go see him live. So that should tell you how I feel. So I really could care less. Even if he was one of my favorites, I still wouldn't really be that invested in his marriage. But I wanted to bring it up because it was a topic of discussion. And somebody who's listening may be a Steve Harvey fan. I don't know. And they may be invested in what he got going on. So I just brought that up for that reason. So yeah, moving on. So y'all, this next topic is about the whole situation with Funky Dineva and Chloe Bailey. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but I'm about to get into it because you will get all the information you really need to know from this article. So let's get into it. It says Funky Dineva apologizes for coming for Chloe Bailey's appearance, reiterates that he finds her inauthentic. And this is from hotnewhiphop.com. Funky Dineva says that his commentary should have started and stopped with his take on Chloe Bailey's persona during a recent TGIF segment. Funky Dineva came for Chloe Bailey, and many fans felt as though he took things way too far. The Fox Soul personality was discussing some circulating rumors that the performer's sister Hallie could be pregnant. Amid the speculation, Chloe went live to defend her. "Y'all better keep my sister's name out your mouth," she warned viewers. "Thank you, amen, hallelujah, about to get me riled the hell up." Apparently, Chloe's response to the gossip rubbed Funky Dineva the wrong way. He went on a tangent about how he felt her persona was fake and included some choice words about her appearance. "Chloe Bailey is so goddamn lame to me," he explained. "First of all, girl, you are Miss Preppy Ashley from the suburbs. Then you came out being all promiscuous, and now you're trying to be a gangster. None of it is fucking believable." He continued, "I'm probably gonna catch a lot of backlash for this, and without that makeup, she ain't cute. She never should have shown up on that camera with that fat ass face without no makeup." Funky Dineva partially apologizes. Countless viewers felt as though trashing the 25-year-old's appearance was unnecessary, which he seems to agree with. In a new TGIF segment, he partially apologized for the rant. He claims to understand why so many viewers were upset by his comments, agreeing that he crossed the line when he mentioned her looks. Funky Dineva adds that he believes people were particularly offended since Chloe is believed to be unproblematic. Though he acknowledges that dragging her image was unacceptable, he stands by his claims about her persona. "I 100% stand 10 toes down on the fact that I think Chloe Bailey is inauthentic when it comes to her as an artist," he says. "I think that the sexual image that she gives sometimes is unbelievable." Funky Dineva continues, "But I also recognize that that's where my commentary should have started and stopped." Well, I'ma say, and this is just my opinion, I am a supporter of Funky Dineva. I have been for a very long time. And honestly, I feel like he didn't really mean no harm by it. Although he may feel the way that he feels, and his perspective on her may just be just that. It's just his opinion. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he meant it in a way to like make her feel some type of way. Like a lot of times it's like the level that Chloe is on and the level that Funky Dineva is on is like, okay, I'm a millionaire performer. I hang out with Beyonce and Jay-Z. Like these people talking all that chitter chatter online means nothing to me because I've made it. Look where I am. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like what he says about her is like, if I were her, I would be like, who is that? I don't know them. So their opinion of me does not mean anything. Because at the end of the day, as an artist, you're going to have people that like you and you're going to have people that don't. And he is not the first person that I've heard that has that same sort of perception of Chloe. You know what I'm saying? And me personally, and I'm talking about someone who's in the same field as Funky Dineva, they have said something similar in their opinion. And that's what they do. They critique artists. So, in my opinion, like I said, I don't really think he meant too much by it. It's just, for one, that's what he does. He critiques everybody from, Housewives, Hip Hop Atlanta, all of those different sectors, entertainment. He will drag and roast you regardless. So just because it's Chloe, I don't know why people are acting like this is not what Dineva does. You get what I'm saying? However, do I think what the topic of conversation was in that moment, was it about Chloe? No. The conversation was about her sister. So why did he come for Chloe so hard? I don't know. But it could be that, she does have different facades that she puts on for different scenarios. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and then she's a Cancer. So if you know, Cancers are very protective, especially over their younger siblings. She could have said more, but because she is so kind of unproblematic, she didn't take it as far as she possibly could as a Cancer. I have Cancer siblings, and they do not play about their siblings, especially their younger siblings. So yeah, I get it. And because no one has really come for Halle before, we've never gotten that side of Chloe. So yeah. But back to my opinion about the whole thing. Now, I watched Chloe and Halle when they were younger, on YouTube, doing what do they call them? Like redoing people's songs. They've been doing that since they were little. And then to see them in movies like Meet the Browns, I think one of them was in it. And then, just elevate as far as their careers are concerned. As far back as I can remember of seeing them, Chloe always gave me that Beyonce was her mentor. That's who she looked up to. You could tell she was trying to imitate Beyonce. Beyonce was clearly her idol. So, and for Beyonce to take her under her wing, like both of them under her wing, and try to mold her into what she has brung to the entertainment world, then yes, she's gonna come across as Beyonce. She's like a little Beyonce protege. So yeah, it doesn't seem authentic, because it seems like she has always mimicked Beyonce. And the whole sex appeal is not that Chloe doesn't give sexy. It's not that, I think it's because we've watched them grow up. And the fact that we sometimes can't get the childlike version of them out of our minds, and it's like, what are you doing? When we see them doing all these things, clapping booty cheeks and doing all of this stuff, it's like that's my little niece, and she don't need to be up there doing that. She's still 12. You get what I'm saying? So we can't really absorb it like we need to. I don't know, but I kind of feel in a way. Now, I don't think Chloe is fat. I don't think her face is fat. I don't think she's ugly without makeup, but I do think that she does need to come into her own. Like, to me, Halle is more into her own than Chloe is, because Chloe it seems like she's trying to give us another version of Beyonce. But Halle is more or less, she doing her own thing. She ain't trying to be nobody else. She's just being her. And that's really what Chloe needs to do. I love her voice. I love a lot of her music. I think she is phenomenally talented. Like, she has what it takes. She makes music up in her room, up in her studio. She can make music. Like, literally a producer. Then she can sing. Then she knows how to record. She knows how to mix and master. She knows how to do all this stuff. And she plays instruments. She can dance. She got the body. So, she's everything. But at the same time, it feels like we still don't know who Chloe is. So I wish she would just do away with the whole trying to be Beyonce. Because right now, Beyonce ain't even doing the old Beyonce. With the leotards and all of that. So, step away for a minute. Rebrand yourself. Show us Chloe. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, back to the whole matter at hand. It's like, do I agree with all of these men coming for women all the time? Like, this is getting ridiculous. These men do not really need, I mean, I know that talking about, melanated women is making a lot of men wealthy in their respective fields. And I'm not trying to stop nobody coins or nothing like that. But it's like, just probably keep it to lower budget people. Not people up there rocking and rubbing shoulders with Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta keep it on gutter level. Hip Hop Atlanta, Housewife franchises, YouTube stuff, internet type stuff. Maybe some of the D-level rappers and their girlfriends type drama. But Beyonce level and her whole squad, no. Leave that alone. But I do think people do have a right to their opinion, and everybody is not going to like everybody. That just is what it is. Although Chloe is in the position that she's in, she's doing well for herself, it's still people out there that don't like her. And it just is what it is. Just like some people may not even like her sister. But I'm more fond of my fellow Aries sister, which is Halle, because I get her. But I do like Chloe. I just wish she would show us her personality. And if she is trying to be something that she's not, or she's trying to, be sexy and all of this, it's like, girl, you were selling before you started doing all that. So that part wasn't even necessary. But it's you. You're not the only one who does that type of entertainment, get up for your shows or whatever like that. Plenty of girls do it with the leotards, Daisy Dukes, all of that. So if that's what you want to do, if that's really you, then own it. But if it's not, let us see you. Because when we see you up there on the stage, it's giving us Beyonce. Now, you don't necessarily sound like Beyonce, but your whole stage presence is giving Beyonce. And we don't need another Beyonce. That's all I'm saying. At least not right now. So, yeah. But, yeah. I think that's my opinion on it. for the most part. So yeah. Or maybe I don't know, because he was saying that she's giving gangster and she's giving promiscuous, and then she's giving Ashley from the suburbs. So it's like maybe she needs to be more of a mystery. Like, we don't need to know your personality. Like, when you're off work, like if you're not working as far as touring and performing, then your personal Instagram and all of that, we shouldn't even have access to. That should be for your family, personal friends, and stuff like that. Because people can't sometimes take a multi-dimensional person. And if you're showing up on Instagram being nerdy and goofy, and then you're getting on stage and clapping booty cheeks with a leotard on or some lingerie, it's like, girl, what? It's confusing. It's got people like, what? This is not who she is. When we know you can have different levels to you. So I don't know. Maybe you need to just step back from people being so much in your inner life, your personal life, or your social spaces, and just step back for a minute or whatever like that. I don't know. Because I think too, and it's not just about Chloe, I think a lot of these artists are making people not like them, and it doesn't have anything to do with their creative abilities or talent wise. It just has something to do with the personality. Once they see your personality on the social spaces, they kind of like, I don't really like her. I don't really like him. I don't like how they talk. I don't like what they do on their off time. I don't like how they dress in real life. And, start nitpicking. So sometimes it's best to be a mystery still when you have a large fan base like that. Kind of like how Beyonce do. She didn't really show up until she really just giving fashions when her and Jay-Z out and about. And then we see her performing. We don't hear from her. She ain't typing in the comments. She ain't responding to nobody. It's still, her whole life is still a mystery to us. And I kind of like that about her. So I think a lot more of these celebrities, young celebrities coming up, probably need to do the same. I don't know. But anyway, let's get into the last topic for today. I have a few more topics I'm gonna get into on the next chat session. And yeah, because I have so many keep popping up on a day-to-day basis. I'm just trying to catch up on all the old ones. And some of the new ones, trying to do like a mix and match so we won't be so out of touch with what's going on. But yeah, the last topic is on Taryn Manning. Yeah, and it says she shares a bizarre video about licking married man's butthole, claims his wife wants restraining order. And I got this from the page6.com. And it says Taryn Manning shared a bizarre video to social media which she detailed her alleged affair with a married man. The Orange is the New Black star who pulled her car over to record said she was so rooted and didn't want to cause crashes before detailing her experience licking the man's butthole. Every night, well, for about 3 nights in a row, I was licking his butthole because he liked it, and I didn't mind doing it. Is that weird? That is what demons do, began Manning, who appeared to be slurring her words. Manning claimed she and the unnamed man drove all the way to Newport Beach so that she could buy him a boat because she was so in love with him. I brought cash to put a down payment down, she explained, like I really loved him. But Manning, 44, says she can't stand the man's wife because she allegedly called the actress a lunatic instead of calling them both out for their alleged alliance. You get out of my life or I'll get an RO on you. The also unnamed wife allegedly told Manning, "No, I'll put your ass in jail," Manning said. She responded, "Anyway, so I've been licking your man's butthole for weeks on end because he likes it a lot, and I do it to him, and he comes to me, and it happens." The Crossroads actress claimed the affair began because she was very single, and the man came to me. "So you don't accuse me of being the lunatic, but I'll tell you one thing, lady. You want to put me in jail? I'll put you in jail so fast your head will be spinning," Manning told the camera. "Don't you ever threaten me. I will show you how I do. Don't you ever threaten me when your husband came to me to get his butthole licked." In a second video, Manning claimed her married beau was finger banging her during the drive down to Newport Beach, California. "I'm not going to lie about it anymore," she said, adding that he messed up real bad, and instead the wife is going after Manning. "I'm not scared of you," Manning concluded. "You should be scared of me." Boy, this is some trailer park crystal meth mess. I did not know in real life she was gone off that stuff for real. And then I thought she liked girls. So when did this happen? And why? Who let her get on? Oh my gosh. I am lost for words. And we are wondering why people are running around with syphilis in the throat, gonorrhea in the mouth, teeth falling out. Like, oh my God. So yeah, my response to that is yuck. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Leave your comments below on your thoughts and opinions. And with that, we've come to the end of the chat session. I hope that you have been informed, inspired, or entertained. Make sure you check us out on our other platforms listed on our About page. Hit that notification bell to be notified of future chat sessions. Thank you guys so much for your time and support. I look forward to our next one. Peace and love. And as always, be blissful.
DJ Mike C on the track.
Cause that be natural.
Lady D.
Ain't looking tacky. I keep my game tactful.
Yo,
Yeah, I'm so nappy. Cause that be natural.
the infamous.
Ain't looking tacky. Cause I keep my game tactful.
I'm so pretty, I'm so fabu, I'm so natural, it's like it's a taboo. I'm so filthy, got the tattoo, cooking these bitches like I own ragu. On my business with my platoon, getting these minutes like I'm a typhoon. Y'all is jersey on that cartoon, and I'm sitting on top of these buffoons. I'm so nappy, I'm so nappy. All these dudes that wanna get at me, I'm so cultured and I'm happy. Just switches wanna come back me, cause I'm comfortable in my skin. End of the day, you lose, I win. I'm so comfortable in my ends, don't care if I make or lose a few friends. And I look like $1 trillion. Lady D won a lotto, cause in the Lord I trust. And beauty is the motto. Naturally dick in the butt, I'm Billy Blanks on the Tabo. Edges a little rough, just pretend I'm from Morocco. Organ all up in my hair, cause I let my locks grow naturally. My curls popping everywhere, I'm maximizing on this natural thing. Like it or not, I don't care. You clowns ain't about to worry me, cause I does this for myself. And I'm repping for my ancestry.